want to hit line drive.
Deliberations begin later.
Right, I'm back here again. Man, I have a really jaggedy throat right now. Alright, so I do have a laundry list of songs to go through for this random thoughts. I did have a list in front of me, so I do want to get this done before I start on my research paper as well. I do need to start my research paper over. There we go. That's my life update that I have for you guys. So without further ado, let's go through each song. Thoughts may vary depending on song. Some of them might be short, some of them might be long. It depends. It's a wild card, I would say. So yeah, let's start with the first one. Ugly. Even. I'm consistently surprised by how Even just blows me away since debut. Like, I wouldn't expect Even to blow me away like that because, being very honest with you guys, boy groups these days don't really, like, wow me that often anymore. Like, some of them still do, but, like, for them to consistently wow me is very rare these days. So the fact that Even managed to just make me feel very impressed by their second release is somewhat of an achievement, I would say. There are a lot of things that makes Ugly work, but to condense it down, I want to say that first point would be that Even respects the song structure. Even respects the pop song structure. They saw utilitarian value in pretty much every aspect of the pop song structure, you know, the intro, the verse, the pre-chorus, the chorus, the post-chorus, the bridge, the extended bridge. Like, it consistently, it's not something that I should be praising though, but in this day and age where like songs are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and parts of songs have to be cut out to compromise the length of the song, you know, I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about why songs are getting shorter these days. There are plenty of pieces out there that probably explain why, I guess, but like, I'm happy that Even never really compromised those things to trade it off with artistic integrity, I will say. Like, the thing I want to get at here is that, like, you can respect the traditional song structure while still having the nuts and bolts to create a song that is a product of the time. And I would say that Ugly is the product of the time because of the whole sound design that comes with it. I love the glitchy sound designs, especially in the intro, and the chorus as well. I love the avant-garde, like, glitchy sound design of things, you know. I think you'll see later on this video that you can see me just fawning over this sort of like avant-garde industrial sound design. And what I'm seeing in K-pop, especially in like some boy groups, is that they are actually embracing that sound slowly. And it makes me really happy. Like, some of the boy groups that really embrace that sound in recent days in K-pop, I will say ep.1 did it, Dark-B did it, NTX did it. I would say, I'm pretty sure I left out a couple more, but like, those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm very happy that Even like slowly is developing their own core sound, because I feel like Trouble is also pretty much on the same vein as well. Like, it's a chorus that not only respects what a chorus should do, but also has enough of the melodic tenacity to fill in the gaps where it would have just been an empty, like, drop chorus instead. But instead, they made it into something much more substantial and worthwhile, and I really appreciate them for that. In short, I think that, you know, Even I see potential in them, and I am looking forward to what they can come out with in the future. Octave, Octave. Now, I don't specifically have anything musical related to add to this song other than the fact that, it's a song with like a really boisterous electronic backbone. But one big point that I want to just share with you guys when it comes to this group is that Renta is in it. Woo! So Renta, if you guys don't know, he's a member of he was a member of TO1, and then like sometime last year he left the group shortly before, TO1 disbanded, and it turns out that as soon as he left the group, he joined Ocpath. Now, if I remember correctly, during that time, Ocpath was experiencing a member departure. I believe it was Toma who left the group at the time, and then to replace Toma, Renta joined in, and I think Renta slots in really well with them because all of Ocpath members, they were participants of Produce Season 2 Japan, and Renta as well. So I guess that, when it comes to a replacement, I couldn't have think of a better replacement actually. So yeah, I think, and he slots in really well with Ocpath as well. I am of the opinion that he should have been a member of Ocpath from the very beginning, because like, why would he get scooped up to a K-pop group first and foremost in his career? Like, of all things that he ended up in Korea for like a year, and then like he's just like, you know what, that life isn't for me, I'ma just dip. So good call. He fits really well with Ocpath. I really like his like vocal contributions in Ocpath. They utilize his voice way more than TO1 did back then, because like I feel like back in TO1, I feel like his really deep raspy tone is very underutilized in that way. But in Ocpath, he's like the main star. He's the main character, and I'm all in for it. I love to see that for him. Yay, Renta! Oh my god, banger song. I really like the sound design. I love the momentum they carried it. Not a single part of the song is wasted. Not a single point of the song where they like stop the momentum of the song. So yeah, overall I think it's a pretty good song, I would say. Parade. Mazel. How the hell do you say this group's name though? Mazel? Mazel? I have no idea. I'm just gonna say their name as Mazel because that's how they pronounce it in their katakana, Mazeru. So I don't know, Mazel it is. So Mazel just came out with a first full-length album, Parade, and personally, to me, the title track Parade, it has all the nuts and bolts of a good song. It's just that maybe they hired the wrong handyman to assemble their song together. Maybe they read the instructions wrong, This is like the song equivalent to, when you get your furniture and it comes with instructions, but then the instructions didn't come with words, it only comes with pictures, so you have to like guess how to assemble it based on the pictures, and the instruction and the pictures are not even like properly illustrated. So like what happens is a song that has all the right parts but is assembled wrongly, as I would say. Like, the song has potential to be a good song, I would say. Mazel is a group where I see biggest potential in because I love their vocalists, and the rappers are pretty decent as well. The vocalists, especially Ran, Naoya, Takuto, they're really good vocalists, I think. But what I see from Mazel from like the beginning of their career is they're given songs that are not really, compatible with their talent pool, and I feel like they're still in their R&D phase, which I mean, I forgive them for that. Your rookie days, you're of course not expected to nail everything right off the park. They're still in their R&D phase, but I feel like from Parade itself, they can see like bits and pieces of where they can utilize this for their future releases. For example, I really like the whole the bluesy aspect of it. I think they also used it in Carnival as well, the whole like bluesy element, jazzy element to it. It really reminds me of like an old-timey song, I would say, parts of it. So they can keep that part. Where I felt like it lacked energy was the chorus, because it was not compatible with the rest of the song and the theme of the song. I feel like they cut the momentum just right there, because when I first listened to it, as soon as the chorus drops, normally I really like these sort of like really drop choruses, but because it doesn't match well with the rest of the song, it creates a dissonance in my head, and it creates something that I cannot really connect well, because they didn't really give me a bridge to connect. This is like expecting me to go from one place to another without a bridge and they expect me to jump across it. Like, dude, the distance is really far. I cannot even get to the other side. I'm not Mario. I can't jump that far.
Magical homemade stairs fit in here. Bruno, the room is the worst.
So, yeah, there is some things left to be desired for, but I would say that, Mazel can take like bits and pieces of whatever they have done, in this song as well as in Carnival, and they can try to piece together something that can allow them to stand out from the pack and be compatible with their vocal pool, like the talent pool and whatnot. So I'm pretty much rooting for them, even though I don't really get the appeal of like most of their songs. The only thing that's keeping them in my good graces at this point was the BMSG collab song that they did with Be First and a couple other people in there. That song is so good. Like, why isn't that the foundation groundwork of Mazel's music too? It's so good. They utilize their vocalists really well, and it's just a really well executed effort overall. Despite being like a big long like 4 to 5 minute song, I enjoyed myself all the way through. We need to normalize like 5-minute songs, I guess. It's just really well executed, and I think that is the song that Mazel should take as their groundwork framework, I guess. There's a lot of R&D involved, but I wish them all the best, and I think that they have much potential, and I think they can, hopefully one day they'll find their core sound, is what I'm saying. Diam, Hail Hussaini. This, of all his work that I've listened to in like the past couple of years, this is probably his like magnum opus. Like back then, I'm not so sure when those came out. When he came out with the Holy Trinity of Haram, Jampi, and Hajat, yeah, that's the 3 songs. I consider these 3 as his like holy trinity of some sorts. And then like his work since then never really seemed to quite match up to the quality of that. But when Diam came out, I was like, okay, this is the Hail Hussaini that I've been waiting for this entire time. Like, this is the song that I wanted from him again. This sort of like really power ballad, sentimental, focused song is just really a song that builds upon itself. It's like watching a castle grow. It's like we start off with the foundation. It starts off with a really like soft bass, and then like he gradually builds it up vocally. When it comes to with every single chorus, the chorus just builds itself up, and then it just culminates into a big, massive like rock guitar, rock ballad sort of affair. Is just a nice example of how you can build a song up from the ground up, and that sort of payoff and the setup and payoff is really satisfying to me. So this is one of the few like Malay songs that I've been listening to these days. Another one is Anak Kelang. I forgot who sang it, but Anak Kelang is also good as well. But yeah, I think this song kind of like wants me to get back into listening to more Malay songs as well. So yeah, good job to Hail. I think that he kind of single-handedly made me want to get back into listening to Malay music again.
We could do this all night. We could do this all night. We could do this all night.
All Night, Ive and Sweetie. Now, there is a couple of things that I want to point out with this song in comparison to the original Icona Pop song. There are pros and cons to this as well. How it is different from the original, both in a good way and in a, not in a bad way, but in a much more like, they could have done that kind of way. So the good points about All Night by Ive is the fact that, of course, they utilized Sweetie in the second verse. They had her to rap in there, which really adds on to the whole, like, it really adds something, it really adds a sort of a sharp turn to it. It really adds some diversity to it. And I really do like her presence in the music video. Like they had Saweetie in the same room as I for the most part, which is good because a lot of the time when it comes to these like collaborations, the people who are collaborating are barely in the same room. So like having Saweetie in the same room is probably like the bare minimum when it comes to, you know, filming, so kudos to that. And I also really like the drop of this song. This drop is really different from the original Icona Pop song. The original Icona Pop song has a drop where it's reminiscent of the clubbing party culture of the 2010s. We can do this all night. Bow, 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 wow, 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 wow. We can do this all night. While this drop is a very minimalist drop, very glittery, very bright. It's really like reminiscent of like the whole like Gen Z core Y2K style thing that is really prevalent of this day and age. So there are some good things that I really like about the IVE remake. What I want to say that a couple of things that differ from the Icona Pop song that I think that it could have been a lot more improved is IVE's vocals. For the most part, IVE's vocals is just singing in like one tone. There is not much, harmonies going on. There's not much of a diverse vocal range going on. They're just singing in unison for most of the time, and I feel like, they could have done a little bit better, if they were to sing unison for the entire song. Maybe they would have adapted like some of the harmonies that you can hear in the Icona Pop version. Come on, baby, we can hit the lights, make the wrongs turn right. We can smash the cloud, make the pop go wrong. With a love we don't need no. The Icona Pop version has like really nice harmonies. You have like the lower tones, you have the higher tones, you have the standard melody. It's a very nice like cohesive experience. Whereas the IVE version kind of felt like they're just singing in one tone throughout the song, which ultimately makes the song a lot more flatter and monotone than it could have been. So yeah, I think that this effort has some strong points and it has some weak points, but overall, I ate it up. I was a huge fan, and I'm still a huge fan of the original Icona Pop version. How can I not like this version, okay?
You say who may fly, you say who, then I'll fly. You say who, then I'll fly.
Hoshi, IU. IU's latest slate of songs are really good, I would say. Shopper is good, Love Wins All is good, Shi is good, but what stands out to me in her latest slate of releases is Hoshi. Hoshi is a song that really understands like the sonic space that she's working in, which is the minimalist pop space. Another song that I think did this well that I want to briefly touch upon is Valentine by Pao. Those two are songs that really respect the sonic spectrum that they're working in while still doing enough for it to be just really engaging to listen to. And what IU did in this song is very nice. She doesn't really like overly exerts her vocals in some points. Her voice is really light and airy and really fluttery, almost as if that she's a feather in that way, I mean, Hoshi in Korean means spore as in like, on a flower, when you blow on the daffodil and the spores fly all over the place. So she's trying to embody that, and I say that she really did her job in that, it really is light and airy, similar to how a spore is flying, It's a really nice like visual, audio, like combination, melody, harmony, blend and everything, like she understands the assignment, is what I'm saying. I really like the rap part, or rap part if you even call it that, because I'm a sucker for those kinds of parts in songs like these, like that kind of like sing-talky rap portion. It's really cute. It tugs on my heartstrings, and I think that is really just cheeky. It's really cheeky, and that's what I'm saying, So yeah, I think Hoshi is I think it's her best work in terms of this album as well. But I would say that the Winning as a whole album is just overall a spectacular pop effort. Probably one of my top favorite pop albums this year when it comes to like Korean releases. So yeah, good job, IU.
I wish you hell. I don't wish you well. I wish you hell. Yeah, wish you hell. I wish you hell. I found myself
Wish You Hell, Wendy. Wendy finally came back after 3 years. I missed her solo work so much. Last time we saw her, we talked about, Like Water and the album that came with it, back in my like album review video. And wow, it has been 3 years since then. Wow, time flies. It really makes me realize how fast time flies and how long this channel has been already. So yeah, but I'm happy to be talking about her music again in this video as well, because Wish You Hell is a really good pop effort, I would say. It has like a very sort of like a Western pop effort, The music video reminds me of like Sabrina Carpenter's Feather music video with the whole like aspect ratio and like, being in a church and all. That kind of similarity I can point out, and a lot of the like color grading of this music video as well also reminds me of like some Western indie music videos as well, especially Maisie Peters, John Hughes movies, one of them I think of, as well as The Valley's Champagne is also what I think of when it comes to the aspect ratio. Not Champagne, it's another song, but but another song by Valley is what I was thinking of. I'll put this song on the video if I remember to do that. But yeah, it reminds me of a Western music video, and it really is the kind of music video that I really gravitate towards, because that sort of like aspect ratio, that sort of color grading, that sort of like cinematography is probably what I gravitate the most towards too. It's probably one of my top favorite like music video like types to this very day, I would say. So that's a really good effort on that end. And I also really like Wendy's like vocals in this song as well. It's a very good pop number, I would say. The whole like I wish you hell dun dun dun, it's very like somewhat of a rock pop nature, like pop rock nature, somewhat reminiscent of like an Avril Lavigne song back in the old days, the 2000s and whatnot, but like in a much more, fluttery fashion, I would say. It's not really like hardcore punk like Avril Lavigne was, but like in a much more like pop rocky way. Oh yeah. It reminds me of an Olivia Rodrigo song too, in a sense, especially in her like in her like Olivia Rodrigo also has that kind of like sound as well, I would say. So I think this sound is kind of in style recently in a way. So yeah, I'm very happy that Wendy attempts this genre of music in her song, so good job on that. I really like the rest of the album as well. The album has like a lot of really nice R&B numbers in it. His Car Isn't Mine is really good. Vermilion is also one of them, is really good as well. Overall, the album is just a good pop and R&B effort, and I think that she really transformed herself with this comeback. Back when we reviewed like Water back like 3 years ago, she was doing like ballad stuff. She was doing like the song equivalent to like Walking Through a Museum. That's why I quoted back then. But now if this song was a museum, it would probably be like a an indie art museum, with like paintings that are created by people who just want to get rid of their old stuff and then like chuck it on a canvas and then call it art. It's kind of really messy and all over the place, but in a good way.
ありがとうじゃ足らなくてそれ以上ならなんだっていいただ君に伝われふざけ合って笑う時も涙こぼれそうな夜も君のための仲間だ
Party, Green Yellow Society. They're actually like they're called Rokuro Shoku Shakai as a full name, but for the convenience of me, because I can't really pronounce that name a lot, so I'm going to call them Green Yellow Society. So Green Yellow Society came back with a new song called Party. I fell in love with them since last year, especially during the year when I got into J-pop. Green Yellow Society stood out to me because their front woman, she's a badass chick, I would say. Top front people of all time in a band, I would say. Her vocals are just so cutting and keen and sharp and just commands your attention in a good way, because I love that she has that sort of presence in the band as well, and I really like her presence. If you guys know her name, please let me know, because I love her voice. I think she's fantastic. But second of all, Green Yellow Society like makes songs that are rock inspired, but they go the extra mile when it comes to adding different elements in their rock music. Last year I put Summertime Cinderella as well as Be a Flower in my top 100 J-pop songs list. What both of them excel at is the rock nature of it, but they added a couple extra things to make it more engaging and much more unique than a lot of their other rock counterparts, especially in the Japanese music scene where like rock is pretty prevalent. I like how they always go the extra mile with their music. Like Summertime Cinderella is a song that really has that sort of pop nature to it. Again, it has a pop rock nature similar to what we discussed in Wendy's Wish You Hell, the last part. And it really has that sort of really like anthemic, like a free spirit kind of feeling, Green Yellow Society excels in combining music genres together into something that is pretty different, but still maintaining their core rock identity. And Party is a song that just did just that. Party is a song that combines the rock sound that they have with the whole like jazz nature, I would say. Like the entire bridge portion is just the craziest mash of instruments I've ever heard. It's like you threw every instrument in a blender and the sound comes out of it. But oh boy, does it sound like a good sound. Actually, that sound reminds me of like the video game I used to play like back in the day as well, Jumpstart Music as well. I think of like, Sir Sour Note and like how he's like, I'm gonna turn everything into sour nose, wah! And he starts shooting sour nose everywhere. But like, if he were to come in modern music and he starts shooting his sour nose everywhere, I would argue that would make the music a lot better, because then it will just turn into a really experimental avant-garde music and people will still eat up anyway. So like either way, he's gonna lose. Sir Sawano, you're a dumbass. You are a terrible villain, but I respect your hustle. But yeah, Green Yellow Society really killed it with Party as well. It's very just like upbeat, very like band-like as well, but it's also very like, I would say that is much less hard rock, but much more jazzy than what I've heard of them so far, and it's very just overall has a very nice feel to it. I do also think it has a kind of swing tempo as well. I think this is also like what we call electro swing genre. I think the song is an electro swing kind of song. Yeah. I think that's the word I was looking for just now. Electro swing. Yeah, it has jazz influence and electro swing influences as well. I really like that. Yeah, we need more of these kind of songs in music these days. I really need more of these kinds of songs. Oh my god. Green Yellow Society never disappoints at all. I will continue to look forward to their work, and I will continue to listen to them, and I will probably go back to their older stuff as well. If you guys have any Green Yellow Society songs you want to recommend to me, please drop in the comment section. I would love to see it. Killing it. P1 Harmony. This one is so Gen Z core, I would say. It reminds me of like 8turn's song last year with what was that song that goes na 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 Tic Tac, that's the song. Yeah, it reminds me of like 8turn's Tic Tac from last year, that whole like Gen Z core aesthetic and sound to it. Personally, to me, every time I see like these kinds of Gen Z core sounds, I always get like ugh, because I'm like, wow, damn, that kind of lifestyle is not for me. That kind of like aesthetic is also not for me. It's really it's too in my face, and it's just really, it just comes off as little kids in my face being loud and rowdy in front of me. And as a teacher who teaches teenagers and kids, yeah, I've seen my fair share of those every single day. But what I appreciate about Killing It by P1 Harmony is, the commitment to the bit. They commit to the concept. All the members just seem really enjoying themselves, and they seem like they really enjoy the concept as well. There are a couple of musical standouts in this song as well, including, that one part where they did the second verse. In the second verse where Jungsup did the rap, and there's one part that goes and then the keyboard comes up in front of my face. every single time I saw that in a music video, I can't help but laugh because that is just like a good way of doing like music in a comedic fashion. I love this sort of comedic bits like this in music. It's just, the visual gag is really sending me, is what I'm saying. It's so funny to me. The keyboard just come out in front and goes I used to own a keyboard like this, you know, and it exactly sounds like that. It sounds like I'm so amused by that for some reason. I don't know why. It's so funny to me. But yeah, this is like easily my favorite part of the song and easily one of my top music moments in K-pop this year so far. It's so funny to me. Oh my god. And I think in a way it makes them stand out because of like their whole like Gen Z core nature, you know. Of course, like P1 as a whole is a very like Gen Z group, you know, like they're like the like epitome of Gen Z, I would say. You know, they're like internet culture, whole like dank meme, whatever thing that they're going for, you know. So yeah, I think that if you're a P1 stan, and of course you will be pleased by this song. Of course, it's a classic P1 song, I would say. And I think they've improved their song a lot since debut, actually. I think they've finally found their core sound with this one. Between this one, Jump, and Back Down, you know, I feel like they finally found their core sound in a way, you know, that makes them stand out from the pack, and I really applaud them for that. And also congratulations on your first win, P1 Harmony. That was a long time coming, and I'm happy they finally got their first win with this one as well. High Teen, The Wind. This is an E1 production. Of course I'll eat it up. I love E1. I love every song they produce. Of course I'll eat it up. What the hell? But yeah, The Wind came back with a song. I swear, like, back when I saw The Wind, they had, like, more members. But, like, they have now reduced down to 5, which is, like... Alright then, like, I guess this is their current lineup, I guess. Yeah, I think they're down to, like, 5 members, which is, like, way less than I first saw them back in debut, you know. But, you know what? It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, The Wind really upgraded their sound with High Teen. Back during their debut era and a couple of releases since then, they have a sort of like really like nostalgic tone to it. They're much more like whimsical. They're much more like innocent in a way. They have a much more like nostalgic tone to it, especially in songs like Island. And I recently found this out, but like Tashi Manna was viral on TikTok at one point. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know much about what goes viral on there, but like, hey, good for them, you know. I think they have a viral hit on their hands with Nashimana, which I think is good, you know. I've seen a lot of like people cover it, you know, cover the song, you know, and it was really popular in the Korean music sphere, so good for them, I guess. But with this one, they really upgraded their sound in a much more like pop forward fashion. It really reminds me of the male version of a Uju Sonyo song in a way, with the whole like violin riffs and the whole like galloping nature of the melody as well. It also reminds me of a Sweet Tune production, especially when they do like boyfriend songs back in like the early 2010s. This reminds me of a boyfriend song in a way, you know, like an early boyfriend song. So I would gravitate towards it. It's very second gen sounding, third gen sounding. I'll eat it up. Oh yeah, they sampled the Vivaldi's Four Seasons in this one. Yeah, that's one thing that I want to mention as well. They not only sampled the song in the violin riffs, but also they interpolated it in the melody as well. I think this is probably The Wind's best song to date, and I'm pretty satisfied with the end result.
Now this is my masterpiece. A new goat. Let's go, young.
The last 4 songs are songs that I really want to talk about in this video, that just really encapsulates my current musical taste and my current heavy rotation as well. Starting off with Goat by Number I. So Number I is the, if you guys don't know Number I, they are basically 3 members from King and Prince who left the group last year, I think mid last year as well, when it was announced back in like late 2020 that they will be leaving the group like in advance because of, you know, they're ending their tenure in JNE, former JNE. I think currently they're called Starto Entertainment, I think, but Formerly, their company was called Johnny's and Associates. So back in like late 2022, it was announced that these 3 members, Hirano Sho, Kishi Yuta, and what's their name again? Hirano Sho, Kishi Yuta, and Jinguchi Yuta is his name. Yeah. So these 3 would be leaving the group back then, and then like by mid of last year, when they released their final album, they said sayonara and fled to a different company, which I'm happy to get their new start from, because wow, I did not recognize them in this music video. This is a complete 180 from what we are used to listening to from King and Prince. The good thing about King and Prince is that they still have their like mega superstar status attached to them. So like they still have their like massive fan base following them into whatever endeavor they're about to do. So these guys are probably like, okay, so why not we just do whatever the hell we want? Which is the most avant-garde hip-hop music you'll ever listen to in your life. This song is loud, it's noisy, it's sporadic, it's messy, and I love it. This is the breath of fresh air I needed from these guys. I feel like they're also in their element when they're doing the song as well, because they just feel so alive in the song for whatever reason. Like they're just so happy doing this kind of music. I'm really happy for them as well, actually. A couple points I want to talk about with this one as well. One thing I want to mention about, GOAT is, the lyrics. The lyrics in the song, when I read the lyrics like the first time through, it's something that I really feel like it's an allegory. Part of it is like an allegory to their careers before and their new start now. Because, yeah, they're probably one of the few artists that can call themselves the GOAT. They're literally the GOAT in J-pop music. Of course they can call themselves that. Let them bask in their own, status. Yeah, we're the GOAT. We've been GOATs since we debuted. We have that GOAT status since we started our careers. Of course we can call ourselves that. And it makes sense as well because, yeah, you see them, they have, that power. They have that kind of stature. Of course they can talk about themselves like that. Boast all you want, guys. Yeah, boast all you want. Yeah, you deserve it. I'm not meaning it in a sarcastic way too, actually. I just really am genuinely happy to see them thrive somewhere else while still maintaining that major superstar status as well. I mean, 40 million views in a debut music video, goddamn, okay? But yeah, the lyrics kind of sort of talk about, what it was like to, I feel like it was an allegory to, their former lives as King and Prince members, leading on to their new start as the as members of Number I. And, especially that one line where Jin said upgrade to version I think that's a really good line because, they're upgrading their software, they're upgrading their systems to a new version. Version I is an unknown number in mathematics, so whatever version they've upgraded to, they're consistently upgrading themselves. And I think that I stands for that unknown, or unknown. I feel like I also means what is it called again? Is it natural number? I would say. I forgot if it's mathematics. But in mathematics, I means some kind of unknown number. I'll put it on the screen for you guys to read if I remember to do it. But yeah, I is a number, and update to version I is a really good log line for this song because they have upgraded themselves so much to the point where you barely can recognize them anymore. But they can get away with doing music like this because they have that kind of stature. They're we can make the most avant-garde experimental music and people will still eat it up. So let's go all the way. And it paid off so well because it makes them stand out amongst other boy groups. First and foremost, they're a trio. Trio boy bands are really rare these days. Secondly, they're a rap group. Rap ensemble groups are also rare these days. I love rap ensemble groups. I mentioned it a couple times before when I reviewed albums years ago, especially with with 30s. The Frost on Our Kids is what it's called, the album, as well as talking about how we need more ensemble hip hop groups in music industry, and Number I is filling in that niche really well, I would say. And all of them have really different rap tones as well. Sho has a really nice deep tone, Kishi has a really nice playful tone, and Jin has a really nice sharp tone. They all balance each other out in a way that feels like a set meal from a Korean restaurant. You know, you have like your heavy chicken, you have your pickle radish, you have your Sprite. You know, it's like a nice set meal combo. You know, it's really nice to listen to. It's very pleasing to the ears. Aesthetically speaking, this song also reminds me of Switch from Distorted. I listened to last year. Distorted is a local like hip hop group from Malaysia, and that song really just stood out to me in my radar, and I really love that song a lot. These two song and music video kind of have that sort of similar nature to it. You know, Switch by Distorted is much more minimalist in a sense, whereas like they understand the message of their song and they tailor their musical like structure and lyrics according to what the narrative they want in the song. And the music video is also like really similar to, you know, Number I as well, especially in parts where they're in like the parking lot and whatnot. You know, I think these parts are really similar to me. Not to say that one copied the other. I'm saying that, you know, it's a very like similar aesthetic is what I'm saying. I'm not accusing one of plagiarism, one another, you know, but like it's very interesting to see how both groups are able to take that sort of like, you know, hip hop aesthetic and hip hop style while also incorporating something new and experimental to it. And both groups are allowed to exist in the same music space in a way. And of course, I need more of those kind of groups in music. If it means one more hip hop ensemble group, I'll take it. Okay? I think this song also reminds me of like, you know, Cody and Noel's hip hop duo, which is Tiny Meat Gang, TMG. Yeah, this song reminds me of a TMG song also as well, actually. This is a TMG song packaged nicely in a really nice music video, you know, but it's much more avant-garde and heavy hitting in a way that it's very, they never are scared to push boundaries when it comes to hyper pop as well. They have like overly auto-tuned vocals, overly like processed vocals that really pushes the limits to what pop sounds like, and it veers into hyper pop territory as well, especially, you know, with the vocal processing and also the way the like music just goes ham in certain places. The part where they go 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 go, that part is just so crazy to me. That part is so crazy. It is not, I believe it's not easy for them to start over like this, you know, because, you know, when you are in a comfortable bubble of a big corporation, big company, you know, it's very hard for you to leave your nest in pursuit of something that you truly want to do. And for these three men to truly just live out their lives and create music that they always wanted to do is something admirable, and I really like them for that. So I wish them oodles of luck in the future. Like, I'm definitely going to be following this group. These three are the members that I love the most in King and Prince, so I will be following them around. I will be looking out for their new music, if any, and they're instantly becoming the mega superstar hit as well. I think they're one of like the biggest rookie names out there. Technically not, because they're not that rookie, but like, you know, in the modern J-pop sphere, they're a force to be reckoned with. From back then, and now, and forever.
往日像素万般战士也不愿活得如此狼狈。
Chaos, Santa. This is another one of those like industrial songs that I really want to highlight as well for this video. If you guys don't know who Santa is was a member of Warp's Up, a J-pop group, before he joined Chuang Zhaoying 2021 to become a member of Into One. I would say Chuang Zhaoying is like a produced China like season 4 whatever, and then like he made it into the final lineup of Into One, which is a cpop group. There he promoted for like 2.5 years before they disbanded, and now he's doing his own thing. I'm not so sure if he'll be returning to Warp's Up or not, but I'm happy that he's doing his own solo thing, and currently he's just finding his own sound, and Chaos is his debuting work, ? I'm not so sure if it's his debuting work or not, but if it's not his debut work, please let me know, because I think this is the debuting work. From what I've seen in his YouTube channel, this is his first work as a solo artist, but if it's not, please let me know. I'll put a pinned comment somewhere to correct myself. But yeah, Chaos by Santa is a song that is also of the industrial hyperpop nature as well. It reminds me of a BY song, you know, if you guys remember Kara Sede back in 2019, this song exactly reminds me of BY's Kara Sede. in a sort of like similar like style, fashion, and whatnot, again, not saying that one copied the other. I'm just saying that there's similarities between both of them. But also what Santa brought to the table with his one is just the messaging of the song is really, it hits me in the gut, I would say. Like, this is like punching me in the gut. This is punching me in the balls. I don't even have balls, and it punched me so hard in the balls. It really hits me so hard because the message of the song is about leaving your pursuing your dreams in a city only to find out the crushing reality of corporate work. And as someone who has worked a couple of corporate jobs in my life before becoming a teacher today, this shit hit me in the feels, ain't gonna lie. The lyrics of the song talks about how it's like, you will go to the city and your dreams immediately gets crushed and your soul gets crushed and you forgot yourself to the point where you lose yourself. You're submitting yourself to the corporate life, and in pursuit of that, you ultimately lose yourself because you're now just doing this for survival. And I think that is a really powerful message to send out to people, especially since that, most people are shackled down at their 9-to-5s every single day, doing what they're supposed to do to build up something that, ultimately doesn't benefit themselves. And in the process, they lose their individuality, especially evident in that part right here where there's like a Chinese like robot coming up to provide like a employee training video. So interjecting the like employee instructions with his own like wisdom as well. You really see like the contrast between what corporate life offers you and what reality really is. And Santa really like properly illustrates both aspects of this. That really hits hard for me. And the lyric in that specific portion that really stuck out to me the most is this part right here. If being loyal means betraying yourself, I've betrayed myself enough that I forgot my own name and date of birth. That is hard. That is gut-wrenching. Oh my god. So basically it means that if you submit yourself you're too much to something, you might forget to remember yourself. It's like that opening line in Turning Red where Mei Mei said, if you honor people too much, you might forget to honor yourself. I think that's what she said.
Of course, some people are like, be careful. Honoring your parents sounds great, but if you take it too far, well, you might forget to honor yourself.
Yeah, she said something like that, if you honor your people too much, you might forget to honor yourself. And I think that's the point that he's trying to get across with this song as well. If you like submit yourselves to something too much, if you give yourself to something too much, then what is left for you to take care of? You can't even remember to take care of yourself. And I think that is something that I also learned the hard way as well, especially back when I worked, a couple of, office jobs, I worked a couple of corporate jobs before, and this is what I've seen and noticed and what I have, observed as well, not only for myself, but other people working around me as well. People who's lost their sense of integrity and identity because they are committed so much to this work. Like they threw their values out the window. They're doing like stuff that are not honest and not genuine because of in pursuit of money and fame and clout, that they forget to honor themselves and check themselves on whether or not their values are still intact. And one thing you have to know about me is that I'm someone who is really strong in my value and belief systems. I don't like people who sacrifice their morals for stuff, whether it's materialistic or something superficial. I dislike people who just disregards their values for other things and throws their morals out the window. And I think this is something that really resonates me the most about this song. The underlying meaning of this song is that if you lose yourself too much in pursuit of something, you're gonna throw your morals out the window and yourself will be in a state of chaos. There's nothing left inside of you aside from an empty husk of a human being and a dark void that will only cause you to do things that you wouldn't want to do and doing immoral things, and it spirals down in this madness and insanity that you cannot tame at all. And I think that's what is illustrated here in the melody of the song as well. It starts off with a very nice, like smooth, melodic harmony, and then immediately you're just hit with the like instrumental, the industrial instrumental. Like immediately that's like a reality hit, you know? Like first you're living in this dreamland, like, oh, I have this dream, I want to be like rich and famous someday. And then like suddenly you're just hit with reality that nope, this is not what reality is. This is deep shit, man. Oh my god. It's a very powerful song in terms of the message being sent, both in the lyrics and also in the melody that is being portrayed in the song, and also additionally the dance number as well. Santa's a really good dancer. He's always been a really good dancer. I really enjoy his dancing skills as well. So that kind of dance number is just really expected from him. He's just really creative and artistic like that. And overall it culminates in something that is a lot more substantial and powerful as well. I think the song can be like a antithesis to Haiky's Such a Beautiful City they released back here, where in Haiky's song they talk about like, you know, going to the city to pursue your dreams, and all of this is very hopeful and very like ambitious and whatnot. They are very like optimistic and positive for the future. This song is the complete opposite of that. This is the person going to the city and instantly becoming cynical to the reality that's being surrounded with. So these two are like two different songs with the same kind of like the same kind of like environment, but like completely different circumstances. And I think that illustrates how versatile music is. You know, it can tell one message, it can tell the other, it can tell the same story but two sides of it. You know, it's really amazing how versatile music is in that way. So yeah, definitely will go down as like 2024's like greatest musical works, like period.
Listen up, you punk! You better watch your step! Watch! You better watch your step! Yo, you better watch your step! You better watch! You better watch your step! Yo, you better watch your step! You better...
Watch Your Step, Jory Bray and Valence. I've been listening to the Jory Bray and Valence like full-length album like since last month, and I instantly fell in love with it. I've been like following them like somewhat, you know, when they released Punk Tactics a couple years ago, and I fell in love with Punk Tactics instantly because of his whole like really like gangster like old school hip hop nature to it, that kind of shouty hip hop nature to it. One thing you have to know about me, I'm a sucker for like shouty rap music, so this is definitely up my alley. That sort of like really like in your face, like what kind of attitude, like gangster mindset, like this is something that I live for. And this album is just so good. It's just full of those hip hop bangers to it, that sort of like fighting attitude, that sort of spirit. Love that a lot. And my most favorite from that album is Watch Your Step. Watch Your Step is a very much pure like old school hip hop music song to it. It has that sort of fighting spirit. It has that sort of like can-do attitude, that rough and tumble attitude to it. The lyrics is just so aggressive and in your face. I especially love the part where like one of the members said he did the whole like rhyming, the whole like shoe scheme with his like rap verse right there, and then he ends off is shit gets real when I bust out the Crocs.
Air Force One's the clouds, we on top. Shit gets real when I bust out the Crocs.
That cadence when he said bust out the Crocs is really satisfying to me, because it's so joyously aggressive in like the most in your face, brash and rubbing it in your face kind of way. You know, it's like he's like spitting in your face, like rubbing it in, you know, it's like so it's so satisfying to hear. And like what stands out to me about Jory Bray and Valence is their rapping skills, their ability to write lyrics and building up schemes in a way that really fits in with the theme. I think in Punk Tactics they did like I did like Star Wars scheme as well. I am the king and you're just a pawn. Who's got the high ground now, Obi-Wan?
I am the king and you're just a pawn. Who's got the high ground now, Obi-Wan?
That's my favorite part of Punk Tactics, by the way. And I think that really illustrates how clever they are in writing lyrics. Some of their lyrics also remind me of, like, you know, the comedy rap or like nerdcore music that I follow as well, especially by, like, you know, the likes of Dan Bull, Matt Forio, you know, the Stupendium, that kind of people. Their lyricism really remind me of those people as well. It reminds me also as well as, you know, Cam Steady, if you guys have heard of him. He did the video game rap battles as well. Those kind of music. I listen to a lot of nerdcore music. Maybe that's why I'm really gravitated towards this album as well, because it's just so joyously fun with lots of wordplay and lots of references that I can latch onto. It's also slightly nerdy in a way that, with, you know, I can catch the Crocs reference, the Obi-Wan reference, you know, that kind of stuff really just brings joy to my heart in a way. So yeah, I think that, you know, I'll continue to look out for this duo. I think they're spectacular. If you're a fan of nerdcore music like I am, or if you're a big fan of hip-hop like I am, definitely go check out this one. So yeah, keep on being fresh, guys.
Get it now.
More. I saved this one for last because this is the one that I really want to talk about the most. The entire like matchup album is just spectacular. Just like the Joey Bray and Valens song that I talked about just now, this one is just so arrogant and in your face and so brash and aggressive that it's just so joyous to listen to. It's so satisfying to see them come out of their shell and just throwing punches left and right. It's so nice to see in that way. I think what Matchup as a whole album excels the most is that the album is full of a multitude of genres. They have pop, they have hip-hop, they have rock, they have synths, they have chill hop, they have everything but the kitchen sink. Yet they still somehow made it work because they understand the song structure and understand like individual like song structures to orchestrate a sort of flow and storytelling narrative without breaking the pace in any way, and it felt like you're witnessing a story unfold in front of you. All these songs in the Matchup album felt like you're listening to short stories in a way, where like it has like some sort of build up, some sort of climax, resolution, everything. It's like there are multiple genres in songs, but they use genres as a mean of a storytelling medium. They use it to tell a story and push the narrative forward rather than, oh, look at us, we can change up the genre as well suddenly. Like, of course, like, you can change genre for like showy purposes, but the most effective way of using the genre switch like trope in music is when you are telling a narrative and you want to add something to the narrative as well. Couple songs in the album did this very well. Television did it, Legit did it, Initialize did it, Tag did it, I think. I forgot, but yeah. Fanfare did it as well. Yeah, Fanfare did it as well. So multiple songs on this album just really illustrates that sort of pop sensibility very well, while also like maintaining the core sound that I9 has established since debut. And in the future, I feel like this will go down in history as like one of the most important pop albums, not only in Japanese music but in pop music in general. Like, I feel like this album is really important, especially in this day, in this decade as well. Like, this is an album that you look back onto and just like, wow, this is the kind of stuff that defined the decade. More is not necessarily a song that has a lot of genre changes, but with the core sound it has, it really does well with the energy that it has. It's a hip-hop song with a heavy rock influence and like flourishes of like old school hip-hop somewhere in the bridge. And the boys have they have like really how do I say this though? They have really improved their charisma and like vocal delivery in that sense, you know. They are really, in the purest form, have that sort of like himbo energy to it. Like, they are a group with high like himbo energy, if there's lack of a better word, you know. They have such really good like masculine energy to it, and especially when they exert like that sort of like dominance in those kinds of songs, you know. And what it does is that it really provides a like sort of power to a already like powerful melody to it, and having that sort of power like match up and sync up with each other really creates the song an elevated experience with each other, you know. Okay, what I want to highlight is a couple of portions of the song. The first one is the bridge, not the bridge, the pre-chorus sections. The pre-chorus sections is just the most glorious part I've ever heard. The pre-chorus is pre-chorusing so hard that it just knocked me out of the stratosphere of the earth, man. Like, the trade-off between the four vocalists of Fengfan, Hiromu, Kyosuke, and Takumi, they have such really keen vocal tones and very versatile as well, that is able to build a sort of dynamic while still providing a sort of like vocal diversity as well. And this is probably one of their greatest hallmarks as, you know, as a group. You know, they're a big ensemble group that has multiple musical, like they have multiple like vocal tones, and they're able to utilize all of it really wisely in the songs that they make, regardless of genre. But it's those hard-hitting songs that they're able to utilize their vocal line the best, because, man, they just sound so aggressive. I would even argue that they sound even more aggressive than the rappers. And the rappers already sound badass and aggressive. They're just so unhinged like that. The rap line is already like really like have a really like growly and like raspy undertone to it. They have a really rough and tumble attitude that I really enjoy, but it's the vocal line in the pre-choruses that just adds like dynamic to it. It just adds a sort of like build up towards the chorus that punches you in the gut like a falcon punch, like, you know. The second part I want to talk about is the bridge. The bridge is so the bridge is so good. The bridge is bridging. Oh my god. It's like old school hip hop, that sort of like in your face, like gangster attitude, like I mentioned with Joey Bray and Valence and just now. Like, they're just so in your face, and it's so like, it just like, they're just yelling in your face, and like, I'm savoring every moment of it. Oh my god. It's just so glorious and cool. And oh my god, that one part where like Rihito and like Fengfan, like one of the voices like higher register and one voice like this extremely like bassy register. The harmony is just so good. Oh my god. And then like to top everything all off, to like bring the energy level back down, that last line in this song. Give me more now. This is like being like beaten on the floor to like death, and then like the last line is just like a final like small kick before they leave the fighting ring. Is just, wow, I felt like I was being like thrown around like a freaking potato sack in this song. Not gonna lie, but it's an experience, I would say. But probably this will make it one of like INI's like magnum opus songs, I would say. Like, that song is just so, it's a combination of what they have like built upon their core sound since debut, and I would say that, you know, now they're at a place where they're able to have this like core sound and be able to understand and analyze it and seeing like which other directions they can take that core sound to. And once they understand their core sound fully, they're able to take it in directions that they probably would have never gone to before, trying to take their core sound to different heights as well, synth pop, hip hop, whatever. But I really enjoy this era so much. This era just makes them seem like a brand new people in general, and they're all just really talented and spectacular performers and people in general. So yeah, go listen to Matchup if you haven't already, and go look into INI if you haven't already. I just really love them a lot, and I just really am looking forward to more music from them. So stand INI, stand the talent. Yeah, so that's it for this random thoughts on random songs by yours truly. And will I ever make this kind of series again? When I feel like it. I don't know. So yeah, I miss rambling about music like this. So this is just one way to get stuff out of my chest for a while. And I miss talking about music, and I miss analyzing music as well. I hope I can get back to it, but I do have a lot of things in my real life to take care of. So yeah, maybe I'll occasionally I'll come in to analyze some stuff here and there, but it will be a while until I do so because I am bogged down with life for a bit. I have work to do. I have my master's thesis to write, so yeah, that's life sucks. But it happens, I guess. Alright, so that's it from me. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, be excellent to each other. Bye, loves.